Hey guys, this is Loony at the estimated spawn block for the second installment of the Loony Adventure Hardcore World Tour. We are currently on day 4202, and if we go to statistics and scroll all the way down, we're on 58.17 days played. That comes out to about 1395 or just about 1400 hours of playing in this hardcore world without dying and getting a whole lot done. First off, I'm gonna take you around the spawn chunks. This world tour is gonna be a little bit shorter and more to the point than the last one. If you want more history of the world, I would recommend going over there. It's linked down in the description. Right now, we're just gonna check out all the builds. This is the very first place where I started. I chopped a lot of trees down right around here to get my first bit of wood. And then when night set upon us, I went into this hillside, made my first base. This room is where we bred the cows. We have a couple of chests here. We have a chicken that's been going strong. I cleared out this egg farm a little while ago, but it's in spawn chunks, so this little beauty works. And down here we have a mine with a lot of strip mine branches going out, where I found my first diamonds. Once I was a little bit set up, this side revealed a very dense spruce forest, so I decided to travel the other way and got to a village not far out. And that village is where I built my first house. Goal of that first house was getting started, getting set up, and getting all the things I needed to defeat the Ender Dragon safely and also venture into the end to get an elytra. So we built a sugarcane farm here, a small one. And we brought a bunch of villagers over to start a carrot farm right over here. Built a villager breeder right over here coming out of the carrot farm, which I broke. And we put a bunch of these guys in the basement to give us our essential books. We have protection here, unbreaking. This guy has depth strider, which I needed for my ocean monument build. Here we have mending. And here we have silk touch. And this guy came in later. We just used him for his trades to get emeralds. Down this base, there was a little bit of nether wart farming going on for my first initial potions. And a chicken farm, which I have also broken since. Here's a small AFK fishing farm, which I never really used. I intended to use it for nautilus shells. Did that for just about 20 minutes. And then abandoned that idea altogether, because it was going to take too much time. So I decided to just go to the Guardian farm, to the Ocean Monument, set up my stuff there, and get the nautilus shells while building, which worked out perfect. This is the strip mine where I got all my diamonds for my first set of enchanted diamond armor, and my first set of enchanted diamond tools. This house, I've lived here until day 55 in the world. Then I went to defeat the Ender Dragon, and right after that I moved out to get started on the first base in this world. And if we fly out this way, this is where I went to find the stronghold. And not that far away from the stronghold, I ended up finding the Ocean Monument I had always wanted to be the start of my hardcore series. So we're gonna fly out and find that right now. A little bit to the, let's see, we're flying northwards. So a little bit to the west here, to the northwest, is the stronghold, and straight up north we're gonna get to the first project in the world. Project is called the Heart of the Sea, or the Heart of the Season, and it is an ocean monument base that houses not only the Guardian farm, but basically all the farms that have been essential to building my world. All the farms that I really needed to both survive and get the materials I needed. And it's also kind of the place where the entire history of the world is situated, in the Mob Hat Museum. Mob Hat Museum is called that because it's the place where I store all the mob hats that I get from thunderstorms. So far, I've collected around 1400 mob hats, which we're about to see as we arrive to the base that is called the Heart of the Sea, or the Heart of the Season. Heart of the Sea standing for it being the heart of the ocean around it. Heart of the Season, because it is the actual heart of my series. This is the engine room. This is where all the materials are produced to get everything else ready. And there are a few highlights around the base that I'm gonna show you real quick. We're gonna start here. This is Gerald. Gerald, full name, Gerald, Keeper of the Conduits, Protector of the Loot. He is built from an entire End City that I tore down, and it's a giant purple octopus watching over my ocean domain. And Gerald's name, Keeper of the Conduits, Protector of the Loot, is already an indicator that he has something special hidden down there. And to get there, we have to transition through this room, which is a decorative hidden room in a shipwreck that was here when I transformed the ocean monument, dried it out. I just left it there, built this tunnel, and this goes down into this area here. And here we find Gerald's loot. We have some diamond blocks, some gold blocks, emerald blocks, a little gold cave with some netherrack, glowstone, and nether gold blocks. And then over here, we find a lot of gold ore, which I mine and then put back into this cave. I've been always holding on to all the ores I find as much as possible, because they are fairly rare, and if I ever want to make a ore-based project, the only way I'm gonna get enough ore is if I hold on to it. So I've not smelted any gold ore or iron ore if it wasn't absolutely necessary. Same goes for lapis and redstone, although that one is a little bit harder to hold on because I've used quite a bit of it. On this side of the base, we find the Mob Head Museum. With two phantoms here on the entrance, some gold armor, a double winding staircase going all the way down, and with double I mean that you can cross over to the other side if you want to. And then here we have a little storage room with one of the rarest mob I've found in the world so far, a enchanted iron baby zombie. We have an aquarium here, which I tried to fill with baby drowns, but they kept suffocating in the coral reef. They just swim up to it and get stuck. And then on this side, we have the first Mob Head Museum room. This is where I started the Mob Head collection, and I thought that this would cover me for a long time, because initially this had room for 120 mob heads. Turned out that as the world went on, I got more effective, and I started collecting them quicker. Here we have an art installation. This one is called Raindrops, and it cycles lapis through the ceiling and the wall, back up, distributes it evenly, drops it down for a raindrop effect. Armor stands, enchanted, all the music discs, most famous songs in all the land. And then here we find the Dragon Egg, she who ruled the worlds. The first mob heads in the collection. For this mob head collection, I only count those that are zombie, skeleton, or creeper heads. Wither skeleton skulls do not apply because you can farm them. And then here we find something that I've been collecting between 3,000 and 4,000 days in the world. The mighty apples. We have one on display here, and here we have a full stack of enchanted golden apples, all collected legitimately in hardcore Minecraft. This guy scared me. He came out of nowhere. Must have spawned on the stair there. All collected legitimately in hardcore Minecraft by exploring an area of 100,000 by 50,000 blocks. I have a bunch of elytra that I use to explore that. If we go in here, we find a room that is called the Mob Room. This is a collection of rare mobs. We have some drowns in the basement, including one that used to be a zombie but then fell into the water, and I decided to lure him to the base anyway. We have some Halloween mobs. We have some actually quite rare mobs. A diamond skeleton, a diamond zombie. I had a chicken jockey here. Interesting one. But he had a dirt block. I didn't want him to have a dirt block, so I gave him a diamond sword and then used a water bucket to make him pick it up and flush him off the chicken. So now it's just a chicken and a jockey. Not anymore a chicken jockey. If we go through here, we have another room which needs a little bit more decoration. It looks pretty cool, but it needs one detail. This is called the Dragon Head room. And this room, I actually used a totem here once when I was building this end crystal and this wall, and I exploded the end crystal in the process. Totem activated. I knew I had a totem there, so I wasn't all that scared it would happen. But when it did happen, I felt super dumb for exploding it. The missing feature in this room is that I'm gonna trap a couple zombies, make little cells right around here for them to stand in and put dragon heads on their head, so they will kind of finish the room. Might give them netherite armor as well, because why not? Then if we go through here, we come to one of the messiest locations in the base. This over here is where I used to get my mob heads for the Mob Head Museum, and I still have to clean this up, which I intend to do I don't know when exactly, but it's gonna be cleaned up. This thing over here, called the water gate, lets us fly out into the water if we want to. There's one on this side, hidden as well, behind the nether portal. This brings us up to the nether roof, where I have a project now as well, but we're not gonna go there just yet. Here we have the other water gate, which is hidden behind this coral reef tree. Coral reef tree means that there is water on the inside of it. Let's go into the monument first, before we check out the other side of the Mobhead Museum. We have a bit of an art installation here on the entrance. As you can see, there is a guardian farm, literally in the middle of the base. The base is built around it, and this thing has been working so well. I have tons and tons and tons of sea lanterns. We find a bunch of shulkers with sea lanterns here, and there's a little bit more. I think there's some left in the end. Here we have a fungi tree that I have been growing in the basement. On the passing, we will actually clear that out real quick, because once we get there, we can also go to the living room quarters, and it's probably gonna have some netherwort blocks on the other side. Do I have my axe with me? I do. Check, there we go. Then here we have the actual living room. This is like the main living area. We have Bendy sitting here and Haley. We have some decorations, small ones, bookshelves. A portal with a redstone circuit behind it, which I will show you what it does on the outside of the monument in a minute. Here we have Garrett, Yasha, and Jeb, of course. This is the bedroom. This is where I respawn if I ever do die, if I come out of the end. Because I don't die in a hardcore world. But if I go through the dragon's nest, then we end up there. This is Timmy, Max, FaZe, and Bella. And here is the Guardian Farm, which is kind of like an aquarium in the middle of this, except that it has no tropical fish, because they would fall out the bottom and be fried. Don't want that. And then here we have the reading room and a little bit of storage on this side. Then if we go back outside from here, we can go down into the monument. And down below, there is a lot going on, because I mined everything down to bedrock under this base. And that is also why we hear slimes always everywhere. Since there are a couple slime chunks here, and they haven't been spawn-proofed properly just yet, I intend to place more and more farms into the basement, because I want to have all my essential farms here. And that's why this space is still open and undecorated. Here we have a cocoa bean farm, which I use for brown dye. Here we have a flower farm that generates seeds. We've used it for warped roots, crimson roots, but also some flowers. Now this is in the ocean biome, so it doesn't give many flowers. And then one step lower, we find the bee farm, the honey farm, which has produced more than enough honey blocks. There are a couple more in my slime chest, because they kind of belong together. We have a slime jumping around here. We have a portal here, which used to be... Hey, the bees popped out. This portal used to be a chunk loader. Chunk loader is a device that keeps your chunks active. They used to break down sometimes, and I ended up not repairing them anymore, because the chunk loader actually... this base is super intense to load, so I don't want it to be active all the time. Here we have the old super smelter, which is still standing around, but we don't use it anymore. Here we have another chunk loader, which is not operated anymore. Then this thing over here is a creeper farm, gunpowder farm. Quick check around for slimes. There's a lot of creepers dying on the inside. There's also a switch here. This switch is here so I can turn the creeper farm off. There's redstone lamps connected to this block here. And that goes up this block as well. Those redstone lamps, they light up the inside of the farm, effectively making it spawn-proof, and thereby freeing up the mob cap for just the Guardian farm. Here we have a dude that's just chilling in the sugarcane farm. This is the cactus farm, which I've used quite a bit. It hasn't been around for all that long. This here, I guess these chests are mostly empty right now, but this is the basalt generator, the cobblestone generator, and the concrete converter. So behind this wall, there's an obsidian blast chamber. And then here we have a sea pickle farm, which I needed for my end project. And here we have a chorus flower farm, which I barely ever use because it's it's an AFK farm. And I don't AFK in the world. It's a waste of my game days, and I try to avoid it whenever possible. Then if we go back up, there's still one wing of the Mob Head Museum left to explore. And that is... I don't know what they're called, actually. We're facing south. It's a south wing. So we have the... Let's see. We have the west wing and the south wing of the Mob Head Museum. We also have a little tree-based art installation here on the left, which is actually used to spawn-proof the whole thing, but try to make it look fancy. Then we have another staircase like the other one going down. And if we turn right here, we're gonna find a staircase with an aquarium inside of it. And we're gonna find the world map. This is the map room where you can see all and everything in my world. About 2,000 blocks around where we are. This is the heart of the sea on the map. And then here's, we see Loonyville, or the Loony Adventure, which is the title of the hardcore world. That is a project that has the most work ready to be done for the next 1,000 days of Minecraft that we're playing. I quickly want to go in here, just to show you something. This is one of the areas, not the only one, but one of the areas where I've been mining stone, because I've been needing a lot of stone for the Nether Hub project recently. And we can use this place to build something later. But for right now, it's basically just a hidden quarry. This is the other room of the Mob Head Museum. This is where the majority of the mob heads is. And you can see that it's quite full here. There are actually a couple more mob heads here that I don't have room for, so we need to expand. This museum is at its max. And you can also see that there are some zombies and skeletons and other mobs sitting around here that are waiting for a new mob room, because the mob room is also full. So the museum needs a little bit of expansion. But before we get around to that, we have to finish the Nether Hub and Loonyville. Here's a bunch of wither skeleton skulls to finish off this display. I thought it looked nice to at least have a couple in the museum. But they are not counted towards a collection, because they are farmable. Then this room. This is a sea pickle treasure room. This entire room is only lit up using sea pickles. So there's sea pickles here. And if we switch shaders for a moment, you're going to see that this room looks pretty cool if we turn off the light. Because it only has these glistening small lights, which I really like. In this room, we have tridents that we found from killing drowned. I don't have a farm for those. I like collecting them. We have a lot of armor from end busting. And we have a lot of tools, etc. from end busting as well, that are put into these chests or into these shulker boxes in the chest. Same goes for horse armor, which is now 6 full chests in total. Golden horse armor is a lot more. That's 13. And then iron horse armor is 14. A lot of stuff from all the end busting, and exploring for golden apples gave us a ton of that too. Then if we go out here, we have an elevator shaft. This one I really like. The other one is a little bit sloppy, but this one goes out through the sea. Puts us here. And then if we follow this trail, which I've been using to collect rare mobs, transport them back towards the base to be displayed in the Mob Head Museum in the mob room, we find Loonyville, which is probably my favorite project in the whole world, but it needs a lot of work. Loonyville is a medieval city that is going to have every district a fully functioning medieval city would need. And it is built on top of these ladder frames in the water, which spells out the name of the hardcore series, like you just saw on the map. And whatever we do with these builds, we can't go outside of the ladder frame. And if we do, on a rare occasion, let me turn up my render distance a little bit, because this actually looks really cool. If we fly up a little bit, and it does want to render in. We're probably falling down right now. I mean, that is super cool. It's going to take a lot of work, but after we complete all the districts, we're going to connect Loonyville up to the sea floor as well. So it's not just this floating build, it's actually integrated into the terrain around it. The reason that I built it here is that you can see it on the world map, but also that it is... there was a lot of room. The sea was very open here, so there was plenty of space to build something like this. We'll very quickly go through the builds that are already here. We have Loonyville Castle. That is the only thing that has some interior going on. This is the Hall of 1,000 Ghosts, which is currently has a broken redstone thing in the top. We need to redistribute that, but it usually rains down phantom membranes. I think I have the fixed thought up. I just need to implement it. Then over here, we have the Loonyville Castle slums. This is the low income area of the city. And if we fly into this cave here, we're going to find that there is a lot going on down here. And also a lot of work still needed. The skeleton likes it here. He came to check it out. It's mostly spawn proof, so very rarely we get a mob. I still have to look for that one place where they can spawn. There's probably like 5 spawning spots or so. If we go this way, we can go up the stairs and go to this little terrace over here. And there's another exit which ends up here. This one's gonna need a little bridge, but to make that bridge work, we have to place some sort of a like a blue tarp or something blue overhead. So it looks like a letter frame on the map, even if we go across. There's a example there where I'll show you how we did that. Then right next to the castle slums, we have the crafts district, which is the last district I've been working on before I decided to start the end statue. And after the end statue, I realized that there was one other project we had to do as well. On this side, we find the Loony Villas. This is where the wealthiest people in Loonyville live. Some of these are already decorated. This here is the house of Tom Gamma and Fletch, 2 of my earliest donators, which was crazy back then. I just started streaming and these guys they were so supportive, blew my mind. Here we have a jacuzzi, a little bit of storage, a pool table. Here we have Tom Gamma's puppy dog. He has to feed the dog because it's not tamed yet. I left that for him, so it would be his dog when he gets the world download. And then if we fly off the balcony here, we have a little plaza in the middle. We have Clab's house on this side. And here we have the house of Redstone Engineer 28, who ordered a really cool treehouse. Has a little trap where you can fall through the basement here, which I right now avoided. And then we have an interior for the treehouse. We have this terrace here on top, and then we have the door going out here. Still needs interior. We're gonna go and do that somewhere during this 4,000 to 5,000 days. Then here we have an example of that blue blocks above the water principle. These blue blocks make it so that on the map this still looks like water, even though it isn't. And that takes some precise planning to get that right. Here we have the Loonyville Trace District. This is where all the shops are gonna be. We can walk around here on different levels. There's a staircase here where the skeleton is. This area is not perfectly spawn-proofed. We'll do that when we get to building. This is the marketplace, which is definitely gonna need some work. And then here we have the mid-income residential areas. And here we have the lighthouse. And the lighthouse is actually also a farm, which if we fly in here, you can see that there is a nether fungi tree farm here. Fully automated, produces its own fuel. All the farms in my world, I'll put a link down below in the description to who made them. This one was by raysworks. From here, we can actually go and see the Nether Hub, which is a project I'm currently working on. Really exciting one. And the Nether Hub is the highest priority at the moment because the Nether Hub is the missing link in the world, the thing that ties everything together. Once again, this is what Loonyville looks like right now on the map. But if we go through the castle basement here, for this Nether Hub, let's actually go and take the main portal, which is located at the heart of the sea, because then we got to a sensible location. This portal is connected, but it's connected to a portal on bedrock level, the one that we just left in the castle. And that bedrock level, that is the nether ceiling. It's a great way to travel through your world, but it's also terribly boring to see because it's this flat sheet of bedrock. And I hate traveling through that and seeing nothing. I like going from one build through another build. So if we take the portal here, we actually get to the main access into the Nether Hub. The Nether Hub is specifically designed for builders QLL shaders because it is the only one that I so far have gotten to work properly in the Nether. As we go through this portal, we're gonna end up in what is deemed the main entrance to the Nether Hub, with a staircase that will lead into the fortress. If you haven't seen this, I'm really excited to show you. This is what we're currently working on top of the Nether ceiling. This is gonna have biomes around it, and it's gonna be a giant fortress with all the portals that connect our different projects together. So far, we've built the fortress on top. We've given it a main entrance. The inside, still completely empty. Beautiful landing. So proud of myself. But we have done quite a bit. The walls have this flaming pattern on them, which I really, really love. There's a lot of frameworking going around. A lot of roofs are in place. A lot of walls are in place. The whole build looks very gray still. But like 4 days ago, 4 real-life days ago, it was only gray. So we're going through that really quickly. And before the end of this 1,000-day cycle, this is going to be a huge fortress with portals all around it. And these portals used to be on bedrock level. You can see a couple here. There's one here, and there's one here. By putting all these portals up and above, the way this actually works is, let's go through that same cycle. And we'll go back to the Nether Hub in a moment. But I'll actually show you the end statue first. If we go through here, we fly out. Then we fly over, and we don't have to go through this empty terrain anymore. There will be this beautiful fortress with biomes around it that we have to custom build. And then we land here. This will bring us right to the Stronghold portal room. And from here, we can go into the end right away. Before we do that, let's go back internal shaders, show you what the room looks like in internal. Internal is Optifine internal, by the way. And go to Sue's Renewed, because the end statue that we're about to see is actually built in Sue's Renewed shaders. I do make different, use different shaders for different builds, because sometimes a certain concept just works better in any particular shader. So we go through here, we shoot up this portal. This is the bottom of the end portal in the Stronghold. We end up here. And then for this, I'm gonna check my Elytra durability real quick, which is fine. This is the outer end regions. We see an end city here. There's another one right around here. Pretty big one. Got an Elytra there. And then there is the end statue. Now, the end statue has taken a lot of work. Only the floor underneath that thing is 200,000 black concrete blocks. So it took the most part of 2,700 to 3,700 days in the world. It's a very dramatic statue. Based on my Minecraft character slashing a fire aspect to flaming sword across the sky and a trident with channeling behind his neck, shooting lightning into the water. The water underneath creates a mirror effect, as you can see here when we're flying in over the sword. This is probably the hardest build that I have done in this world so far, because I have never in Minecraft done a freeform build like this. So it was a lot of trial and error, a lot of figuring it out. But I'm really, really happy with the final result. It's a super dramatic vibe. It's pretty crazy to fly through when we're up close. I love the reflections in the water. And I'm really, really curious too to one day see this in RTX shaders. Although these Sue's Renewed shaders, they do a incredible job at showing this. Now, if we go in his mouth here, we actually get to go to the inside of the end build. We're losing a bit of frames because we're on 52 chunks render distance right now. I'll bring it down a bit. If we jump down this chute, we get to the inside of the statue. This is where the dragon's nest is. We literally built the whole thing around it with a yin-yang down below on the floor level. A little bit of water and sea pickles on magma, which is a super interesting effect. I expected them to light up, which they barely do because the magma kind of kills that light effect. But all those like little specks, I really love the way that looks. Used beacons here to light it up, completely unnecessary, but I legit thought this was the most fitting block for here. They look the prettiest out of everything I could use. Here we have to go to internal shaders for a moment because otherwise you see nothing. This area still needs to be done. So we're on the inside of the statue right now. I imagine that way down the line, this is going to have a really, really cool interior base. But the way I'm building up this world is try and get the outside of all the concepts finished first. And then slowly fill them in one at a time. We're very close to having all the main concepts up and running though. If we go down here, we find the Enderman farm, which is literally under the End Statue. And the fact that my Enderman farm is hidden inside of this thing, I just love that. Now this needs a lot of work. We haven't even properly installed the water elevator here. But right now the farm is functional. I can get the things I need. And for this very moment, that is good enough. We're definitely gonna fix this later. I'm not gonna leave it the way it is. Can fly back up here. Little cheeky exit. This is also gonna get bubble elevators. And then we end up back here. And through this room, we do what I said earlier. If we jump in this dragon's nest, we end up in the bedroom. Which is why this is the respawn location. After we come out of the end. And then from here, we can go straight back up to the Nether Hub. Which I really like. So the world is becoming quite a bit compacter. Quite a bit easier to traverse. And if we fly back up to the Nether Hub, which looks like this in the normal shaders, also pretty cool. Although I like the light-dark contrast that the Builder's QSL shaders bring into it. If we go back in here, and we enter the main inside of the fortress, there are a couple rooms here that are already here, even though they're not fully functional yet. This is where the signs are located. And these signs, this is actually incredible. There's 50 in one archway, which is a pure coincidence. I didn't plan that. But these are names of people that have supported me and have donated to the channel and basically have enabled me to spend as much time building this as I have. I'm really, really grateful for this. At this point, there's almost 800 names here, which completely blows my mind. These used to be in the heart of the sea, but we had to move them over. And the reason we had to move them over is signs create a little bit of lag, so does that world map. So I had to split them in between, between different projects. Now, right now, if we go and check out the Nether Hub and take a moment to see how the build looks, we see that there are a ton of stone blocks here. Those are 50% stone bricks and 50% cracked stone bricks. The other main block that we're using is red nether brick. Red nether brick is made out of nether brick, which is smelted netherrack, and nether warts. All of that, we've needed a ton of it. And cracked stone bricks, they are normal stone bricks that went through a furnace. So we need a lot of smelting capacity. And to facilitate that, I've built this thing, which is a design by Tango Tek. And I got it from a Dusty Dude video. Also, link down below in the description, like all the other farms. You can see that these minecarts are going back and forth. That's a really good sign, because that means that the bamboo fuel is currently full. And it's full on either side. Which means that we can put whatever we want into the smelters. And it will generate a ton of resources for us. Very quickly, there's 90 furnaces in there. This is the bamboo farm. There's one on the other side with a flying machine that will harvest it. And then minecarts that will pick it up underneath. And then here we have a collection of shulkers, etc. But also the output for the smelter, which I recently cleared out. But if we put a shulker box, let's actually do that. I'll smelt one shulker box of netherrack. Or a part of a shulker box of netherrack. All of these blocks, we're just going to toss them for now. Just to be able to demonstrate this easily. We can do this on different levels. I have been doing it for the most part here. But if we go up a little bit, I can show you how this build will work once it's a little bit more progressed. Here we have a lot of shulkers on the wall. These shulkers, they are the shulkers I'm using for the project. So there's a lot of stone here, a lot of cracked stone, tons of nether brick, red nether brick. And if we take these items and we drop them in here, they will actually land on a pressure plate down below, which we can see. And that pressure plate activates a minecart. Minecarts start distributing it. Most awesome feature of this whole super smelter. Again, not my design. Credits to Tango Tek for making this. Most awesome feature is that these are all hopper minecarts. And hopper minecarts pick up items way, way, way faster than normal minecarts. The only downside of using this here is that these hoppers, they will fill up faster than they can empty out. You hear the droppers, they are dispensing all of the items. So this will kind of hold it up a little bit. Now that is not a big problem. In the overworld, it's something you can prevent from happening by using water streams. That clearly doesn't work in the Nether. We could use a combination of ice and slime, but usually it doesn't matter that it piles up a little bit there. In this Nether Hub, we're also gonna have a piglin bartering farm for certain, and then maybe a couple other things. But mostly it's a decorative build that is meant to connect all the portals up together. So we can go to a different build here, we can go to a different build here, and if we actually fly down below, which is currently still open, we will find the portal for Loonyville right around here. Now, this build here, this is gonna have a interior into it, and in that interior we can move around quite a bit. We can integrate stairs, and we can actually build a full room that will connect all the builds in Loonyville to different portals in that one build. So that Nether Hub is going to facilitate us to move around very, very quickly, but also through a really cool build. Before we end up the final or finalize this tour, there is one more thing I want to show you, which I said I would, but kind of forgot. There was this one redstone clock on the Heart of the Sea. And this redstone clock on the Heart of the Sea, what it actually does is it activates all the dispensers on the outside of the building that cycle down water through the pillars. So right here, you can see it flowing down. This used to be synced up. It's currently disconnected a little bit because of chunk loading. But as you can see, it's basically a wave going down the side of the building, which is really awesome. Unfortunately, it doesn't work exactly the way I intended it, but I still like it a lot. And then here we have the dragon head, which is a memorial of me defeating 20 ender dragons in total. Right now we're on 27, but I won't ever do it again as long as I live in this world, because if I do spawn the ender dragon in again, she will completely wreck that end statue. These are the main decorative builds. Then there are a few more things that are actually relevant, but not all that decorated. If we grab the Riptide Trident real quick, we can go down this way to one of the rare farms that is actually not connected to a decorative build. And the reason it isn't is that this one needed to be on a specific location. If we go down this way, we should be almost there. Here we are. We find the Squid farm. Squid farm is, this is a dried out river. This is the only place squid will spawn. And if we AFK here for like 5 seconds even, this thing is really quite fast. Let's put our golden helmet up, so in case there are any piglins, they don't get mad at us. Go into the Nether. We'll see that already there's a ton of squids dying below us. Very crazy design, this one. Got it from Mysticat, who I think got it from someone else, but I'm not sure where it came from. From here, if we make our way back to the main base, the Heart of the Sea, we also have a fortress farm somewhere. Fortress farm is where I get my wither skeleton skulls, blaze rods, and a lot of bones, a bit of gold. Basic resources that we need. Mostly the wither skeleton heads and the blaze rods are the essential components there. Gotta love Riptide. This is so fast. So back through the portal here, which will put us in the Nether Hub, main entry hall. Fly out what is going to be the front gate. already prepare our fire resistance setup. Am I flying the right way? No, I'm not. It's down this way. We still have the pathways here. They are going to be coming out of the different biomes around it. The Nether Hub itself is completely spawn-proof in the way that I designed it. The actual biomes around it, I won't spawn-proof it because it doesn't matter much. We have all these high walls. We're protected. We're in a safe spot when we're on the fortress. So piglins, zombified piglins, they can wander around freely. Over here, we have the gold farm. Which, as we fly past it, you'll see how many piglins, or zombified piglins, this actually spawns in. You can see them raining down there. That one came from gnembon's Fun Farm series. And then over this way, we find a hole in the bedrock. I'll also link down below in the description how you can do that if you've never done it before. Video by Eagle Eye 621. If we go into the Nether, double check my elytra, my golden helmet, and my fire res pants, which I haven't put on. There we go. This is the fortress farm. Fortress has been completely spawn-proofed. Area around it has been completely spawn-proofed. I imagine that there's still some hidden tunnels in the ceiling above, but as you can see, I've done quite an extensive job of spawn-proofing it. Judging from the rates, it could be done a little bit better, but not all that much. If we go down here, we flick this lever, it will turn on the fortress farm, and it will start raining mobs. We see the flying machines that go back and forth. They push all the mobs to this outlet, then collect them, push them towards the middle, and then they start falling down here. Quite a lot of them. And we just stand here, use that looting sword, and then all the items get dispensed down below where we can pick them up. Very important thing is if we want to get out of the chunks here, I have to deactivate the farm, wait for a little bit for all the slime flying machines to return to their return stations, because if I go out of this area before the slime swipers are back in their default positions, farm will actually break. So then we go back here. Carry my shield because sometimes we do find some piglin on the other side. Zombified piglin, of course. We switch the gear back. And then if we go this way, we find a portal that will put us back on the nether roof. Makes it a little bit easier to traverse. We could also fly through the nether, but I like doing this little back and forth trick. This will put us where we started, and then if we fly this way, before we know it, we're gonna come up on the Nether Hub again, which basically concludes the tour of the world. And right now, 1400 hours in, I've gotten back to a point where there is a lot to show in this world, but even though there are so many builds, we can actually go through it so fast because all the nether portals are linked up, because we can travel from the heart of the sea to the Nether Hub, to this portal room through a portal, Stronghold portal room to the End Statue, and then through the Dragon's Nest back to the heart of the sea. So that makes it a very, very small loop to go through all the main builds. The priority for right now, we're gonna finish this Nether Hub fortress in a couple weeks time. Then we're gonna go back to Loonyville, decorate all of that, and then once Loonyville is done, then we're open for new projects. But right now, I'm in a stage in the world where I'm trying to finalize the concepts I've built, but it's really, really starting to feel like an actual fully developed Minecraft world, which I'm super happy to say. It's been a lot of work, but it has been more than worth it so far. So with us back at the main base, Heart of the Sea, I want to thank you very much for your watching this world tour. I hope you enjoyed it. 1400 hours. 1400 hours. And the next time will be probably over 1700 because I intend to do the next world tour on 5,200 days of hardcore Minecraft. For right now, I want to thank you guys very much for watching this world tour. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to link a couple more videos that you can check out if you want to see a little bit more about this world. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. And Loony, out.